Isn't this a film show, by the way? Early morning swim, they said. Look at it. Imagine, this is me, right? How's that gonna work?
I'm Kassam Luch, and I've been a film critic for 15 years.
You smell delicious, homie.
This is good from head to toe.
Yeah,
this is good.
Looking good.
Now I'm stepping away from my laptop and into film industries around the globe to meet the people and see the places behind a revival in world cinema.
We should use film to unite us.
Cinema can change mindsets, it changed lives.
I'll be finding out what Hollywood has to learn from these movie-making communities and what they are doing to challenge perceptions and change expectations. My destination is Scandinavia. Scandinavia is made up of 3 countries, Norway, Denmark and Sweden. It's also home to Scandi Noir, a gritty version of Hollywood's black and white film noir thrillers, which is one of Europe's fastest growing film industries. When you picture Scandinavia, you think of its stunning natural landscapes and warm hygge interiors, making it home to the happiest people on the planet. How then do we explain why it's famous for making film and TV shows like this?
So Scandi Noir is a genre of crime fiction. It's best known for its bleak settings and dark storylines. I'm in Stockholm, Sweden's capital. I'm about to meet Karen Farland, who is a screenwriter and director, and she's going to introduce me into the world of Scandi Noir and find out why a place as idyllic as this can produce such dark cinema. Nice to meet you. Yeah, very well, thank you.
Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know what Scandi Noir is, how would you describe it?
Violence and expressing the darkness in humanity. We're quite friends with that side, I think, of ourselves. Because both my crime series is Stockholm Requiem, it's all inside Stockholm, it's all what happens under the bridges, in the tunnels. I love the woods. I think the woods are fantastic. So, of course, it's inspiring, and especially this time of year, I think it's beautiful. And I think also you have a great advantage as a set designer because you can choose snow, you can choose rain, wet streets. It's almost like a little menu of scenery, and you can work with that.
You know, when you're in a place like this, right in the middle of Stockholm, in the old town, you realise how these quaint little perfect plazas and squares with there's coffee shops there and fika happening in that corner. You realise how the TV shows and the films that we've been looking at, especially as part of Scandi Noir, are a complete escapism from that. The actual reality of it is, especially in winter at this time of year, is that people spend a lot of time indoors, and maybe that's where these dark stories from Scandi Noir come from. And we're going to find out more about that when we go to the Stockholm International Film Festival later on. That reminds me, I've got to go and get ready for that. I've got to put my fancy spreads on.
Well, for us, there's a lot of crime series and noir and women being killed every weekend in the beautiful, idyllic archipelago environments.
That women floating around in water.
While people really appreciate what Scandi Noir has done for the region, they're eager to explore new types of story. One film that goes in this direction is Annette Sidor's Fuck You.
Very good. På riktigt.
Whoa. So no, we've just seen your film. Scandi Noir is something that comes up quite a lot. And this felt like a reaction to that, or something very different. Is that something you had in mind?
Yes, I was looking to do something else. I wanted to do a really warm film. I wanted to have the Miami sun. So it's quite yellow. And the castings, of course, that's also the world I see around me, but in television and in film, it's always so white. It's not reflecting the reality I live in.
Kidnapping, murder and revenge are obviously not the reality I live in either, but I still want to dig into Scandi Noir and see the iconic locations that have helped define these incredibly popular film and TV shows.
Yeah, I'm ready for this.
Why have you got a camera in your hand? You're not a photographer.
I'm a filmmaker, what do you mean? I'm going to make some films, you wait and see. So we've got a sense of Stockholm now. We're going to check out some of the locations from the Millennium Trilogy, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo films. I can't wait. I'm following Lisbeth Salander, the hacker heroine of the film that popularised Scandi Noir. To help me, I'm meeting Mia Udgren, who was responsible for finding the epic locations used in both the original and the Hollywood remake of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Hello, Mia.
Hi, good to meet you.
You too. Really glad to be out of the city. Where exactly are we?
This is actually Elizabeth Salander's apartment over there.
Right, yeah.
And this is a scene where she goes with a bike and she takes off and landing on the ice and she goes to the other side of the lake. I'm taking you further out now. So we're going to see the Vanger estate that was used for Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the Swedish version.
It means a lot to the film, and a lot of the locations, especially for Stieg Larsson, was very important for him. It was like characters.
Tack för att du kom, Mikael.
This is the Vanger mansion.
Wow. And you're mentioning it, it does feel very different to the Stockholm that we've seen so far.
Yes.
And it's only a few minutes away, as you said.
Yes, it's 20 minutes away and you can feel how quiet it is.
I'm assuming I'm going to stay here tonight, right?
No, I have another idea actually.
I suppose it's the best way to see Sweden, right?
It is. It's a good way to see Sweden.
When you said we were going to see Stockholm from a different view, I didn't know this is what you meant. This is amazing.
Would you rather write about the film or finding the location? What do you think is that?
I mean, this is very, very tempting. If I could do this all day, I might consider a career change.
Yeah.
Around Stockholm is Sweden's largest archipelago, an amazing chain of 20,000 islands, all within 40 miles of the city. Exploring the archipelago, I was starting to see how these isolated settings were not just the film locations, but also the inspiration behind many of Scandinav's best creations.
I know some of my team actually want to go in the water. I'm not too sure myself, actually.
You should try it. It's very refreshing and
Oh, I bet it's
so
refreshing.
good. You feel so good afterwards.
She's having a laugh though, right? I'm not actually getting in there. It's ridiculous. Look at it. There's no fish in there, I bet you. It's too cold for fish. We don't realise just how the Stockholm is built up and how the extended area is. It's just so many small islands and archipelagos. You can imagine just chilling out somewhere like this place and just writing some best-selling books. These homes as well, they are amazing.
People love their homes. They like to say, as it is so cold and dark, I think that's one of the reasons they love to cuddle up in their homes. I've just arranged so you can stay in a house.
Oh,
in
great.
the archipelago
Yeah.
tonight, close to the water. You will love it.
You really want to get me in that water, don't you?
Yeah.
That's not happening. Mia, thanks for this amazing experience. I'm now heading off into this house, and I guess you're going to head off on that bus stop there?
I'm taking the helicopter back again.
Of course you are. They promised me isolation, which is exactly what I'm getting. Ever there was a setup for a Scandinavia, this is it, right? I'm literally staying in a cabin in the woods. Can you hear those noises? Ooh.
You look like a man of the woods right now, Kassam.
I mean, this is my natural environment. I don't know what you mean by that. I'm made for this. I'm made for this environment. I'm made for the woods. Fucking hell! Do you see that?
So how have you found our trip so far? Do you feel like you know everything you need to know about Scandinavian cinema?
No, look, I definitely know why all these Scandinavia films come out of here, why all these dark themes are prevalent in so much of the cinema. I think it's the locations that make it happen like that. I think it's these isolated places like this cabin in the middle of nowhere. I think it's the archipelagos, it's the islands that are completely remote and away from everything else. I think that is what makes the genre. What I want to see now is where the big TV dramas have come from, the big TV series. I want to know what's behind those, and to do that, I think I need to go to Copenhagen. Great. That's a big one. Uh-oh. Hello. Hello, fam. We need to do this, though. It's chilly.
Man of the woods.
Are you sure I should be doing this? We need the talent doing this, do we?
Come on, mate, we're gonna lift our train.
All right. Where we go next? Denmark. Famous train journey, isn't it? It's not a bad life. Doing a bit of travel blogging, influencer star. We laughing at.
I'm excited to be on the train from Stockholm to Copenhagen because we're going to go across the bridge, which is iconic, it's famous. There's a whole series named after it. That's the kind of entranceway into Scandinavia for a lot of people. I'm in Copenhagen, Denmark's capital. With its charming cobbled streets, laid-back atmosphere and collaborative culture, Copenhagen is considered the coolest city in Scandinavia. Its rich cultural life has given rise to a booming film and TV industry, which explores experimental and often controversial themes, launching some of the most successful Scandinavian TV shows in history. At the centre of Copenhagen's film community is Huset, a prime hangout spot for the city's filmmakers. I'm lucky enough to be hosted by Matthias, a graduate of the Super 16 Film School, one of Copenhagen's most progressive and fertile breeding grounds for future filmmakers. It's an amazing space. There's so many different things going on here, whether it's for the board games or the video games or the films. Why have you decided to meet us here?
I feel like this is really representing what Copenhagen is best at, to have these small places for young and old talents.
Yeah, exactly.
Well.
Yeah, a bit for everyone.
Yeah.
I've heard it before as well, that there's a lot of collaborations here and people work together and find their own spaces.
The distance between the independent scene and the more commercialized one is actually not that big. Well, now I think we should go to a bar called Flas.
Everywhere we go, we've just seen bikes.
Yeah.
Is it safe? Can you cycle everywhere?
It's very safe.
Okay.
Now we're at Flas.
Oh
so
wow,
now
okay,
you don't need it.
Seems quite trendy.
I'm just
seems
locking
quite
up
cool.
my bike because
It's a good idea. So it's not that safe then?
So now you're in good hands. You're with 5 other directors.
5 directors, that's a lot. That is a lot.
A lot of opinions.
And I'm a film critic as well, so I guess I'm the enemy here, right? Typically Danish thing here, playing foosball. Oh, come on, I thought that was it. No! It's 2 on 1. It's 2 on 1, it doesn't count. So I've just come from Stockholm.
Yes.
And I found the vibe very different to Copenhagen.
Stockholm everything is just so perfect. Everything is politically correct.
Would you feel comfortable in Stockholm? Or would you...
I couldn't live there. It's more about the mentality there. It's not like I think it's possible to be creative everywhere.
The reason why we came to Scandinavia in the first place was how popular Scandinavia is. What's your take on that genre?
I'm a bit tired of it.
Okay.
I think now we've seen it, and now we want something new, and that's happening right now.
So just had a Danish breakfast, and I'm working it off in the only way you can in Copenhagen. Wait, what lane am I in here? Is this the right lane? We're going to go and see a TV set for the 3rd series of Follow the Money, which has been a huge hit in terms of Scandinavia, and we're going to just go and meet some of the filmmakers and get a real sense of the TV scene in Denmark, which is huge. So yeah, we're going to go into the house of the main actress and we're going to spend some time on the set. It's looking like quite a big production though. So they've just finished their briefing and we're going to have a little look around the place. They're getting busy setting up the shots for the rest of the day. It's quite a busy day. They're doing 5 scenes today.
I'm the creator, showrunner. We did 2 seasons already, and this time we wanted to go into the money laundering of drug money, and that brings us to some quite different arenas. So this time it also has an influence on the visuals. For instance, with Frederik, the director, he comes from Super 16. He hasn't done his first feature yet. This is his first time with the big series, but we felt that he was the right one for our show and that he really got what we wanted with the 3rd season.
I've been missing a TV show like this, which really goes into the grid and dares to be head-on, dares to be violent, scary. I love genre films. The cold, naked environment suits the crime genre pretty well.
Maybe you could tell us what Super 16 has meant to you.
Because we're so few people, we're surrounded by chaos and a little bit of needing to do everything yourself.
I thought I was coming to a film school, I thought I was coming to Super 16, but this is very different to what I was expecting.
Yeah, it's because we are an alternative film school and we're under the grace of this big studio because we're not governmentally funded. And it's a collective, so we basically organize everything ourselves.
Looking around here, it reminds me of the big Hollywood studios.
Yeah, but it's actually older than Hollywood. Like right here we have the silent stage where they used to shoot like thousands of silent films. Ta-da, a studio.
Excellent.
When we have our public showings, actors or well-established directors show up to see everybody mingles. Like you can get the big shot script writers who give you feedback. You just send them an email. Everyone feels very close.
Well, when I found out I was coming here, I was a bit worried because I thought we'd be coming to a small art house film school with, you know, loads of filmmakers running around and doing their little projects. But I mean, we're here in one of the oldest film studios in the world, and these young filmmakers are being given the opportunity to work within that system, but also do things for themselves, which I can't imagine happening anywhere else. This is very, very Scandinavian. You can't come to Copenhagen without going to Tivoli. It's the place that inspired Walt Disney to make his theme park. He came here several times before opening the first Disney theme park in the 50s. The original Disney theme parks obviously had a sense of bringing the world together, and that's what you get here as well. So I'm looking for something Danish and warming.
I would recommend some mulled wine. That's a good shot of rum.
Mulled wine with a kick, and I think that's going to be a good thing right now. I was beginning to understand how the idea of collaboration and community was at the heart of Danish culture. The next morning, I was back with filmmaker Matthias at Copenhagen's controversial cannabis-friendly commune, Christiania. Yeah, we're just getting ready. Apparently the camera crew is a bit worried and nervous because you can't take in proper kit like that. That's not going to get in. There's one part in particular which has seen some highly illegal activity there, but the rest of it's meant to be a lot of fun. Matthias, I'm glad you've taken some fashion tips off me, obviously. But while we're here, you've brought me to Christiania and I've heard a lot about it. So what's so special about this place?
It's a state within a state. So it's in Denmark, but it's self-governed, like it has its own rules. And there are 900 people living here. It's the biggest collective in the world. To me, this is sort of like resembling that spirit that we also have at the film school, and I really love that. I want to show you a cinema.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Virginia, and not a lot of people knows this place.
I really like this. This is a really cool space. It's just what I imagine a proper cinema to look like and feel like.
Back in the old days.
Back in the old days, exactly. When we came here, we started off thinking that it was Scandinavia. But for you, where do you think Danish cinema is going next?
I think Danish cinema is going in a direction where filmmakers actually have space to do what they want. We want to see their identities when we don't follow movements anymore. We want to create new stuff.
So our journey is now coming to an end.
But I think there is one thing you haven't tried yet.
Right, what are we doing here? Because you said it's going to be like the nice part of the trip where I can reflect on what's happened. So why are we right here in the middle of nowhere?
I thought it'd actually be nice for you to finally get in the water now.
I'm not getting in the water.
Put your toes in.
Put my toes in. Do you know how cold it is? I actually said I can't swim, so I don't think it's worth doing that. I cannot believe. Oh my. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Yeah, what do you want to know? So this. And this. Oh, flipping heck. Yeah, this is the Scandinavian thing to do. You get in the water and you reflect on the day, and I finally got in the water and I'm done. Oh. Towel, please. My arms are getting numb, they're gone red. You know when people say it's a fun job? I want you to show this clip first. Get this to the boss. Oh, that dip was insane. I don't know why they do it. I know there's supposed to be some benefits. I know you're supposed to go from the cold to the hot and you're supposed to get this amazing euphoria. I got absolutely nothing. But then this sauna experience afterwards, it's not worth it, but it does help take the edge off a little bit. When we started our journey into Scandinavia, the only thing that was on my mind was let's get more information about Scandinavia, let's find out where it came from, let's see how big it is, let's see how relevant it is. But I think we're getting to the end of that movement, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens next. But there's enough creativity and originality in Denmark, there's enough high quality filmmakers and stunning locations in Sweden for them both to come through and come up with a completely different genre. I think that's going to be the next thing. It's going to be something completely opposite to Scandinavia. So it's going to be fantasy, it's going to be epics, it's going to be big, elaborate set pieces, making the most of these locations. I want to know where we're going next.
Akwaba, welcome to Ghana. Ghanaian cinemas are experiencing a renaissance.
So I've set myself a challenge, 48 hours in Ghana to make a movie.